Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Monday, August 3rd, year of our Lord, 2026, Brother Mike's birthday. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place for the brave, like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to our man John Basiliga and his great Eastern roofing systems, like Robert Moshart, Scranton, Thomas Gamble, Forest City, Ronald Capes, Hazel Township, William Wild Bill Hilbert, Bethlehem, Andrew Mark, Simpson, and Stanley Tumavich, Dunmore. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be, could not be, and set about to make sure it couldn't be, ever. Our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things. Because government power always means less freedom, less liberty, less choice. They also knew that because of human nature, power in government would be abused. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and even freedom of the press, even if they use it to lie or deliver on an agenda. Now, because these Americans were armed with freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you on this Monday and for this entire week that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense, it will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. A gentle warning as we begin the week. This is not a safe harbor for stupidity. Such nonsense will be roundly and, dare I say, harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly, and their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor, designed and in this day and age sadly necessary to save our great republic from evil, senselessness, and weakness, which even now can bring this 250-year noble and successful experiment down. Well, great to be back with you guys. We had to put a lot of stuff in there, and you know what? I tell people, I said, look, the show's not about hearing myself talk. It's about actually hearing others talk. And when some interesting voices on various subjects that you may not have access to or may not have time to search out, we play them. And that's how we start the program. By the way, you can catch us on a live stream video, and that is on YouTube. You go to Bob Cordaro Show, WILK, and you'll see Roach Supply as the proud sponsor. They are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. Ron Roach is 96. He's the head of it. 3 generations at least working there as I speak. It's the summer, so there may be more. But visit roachsupply.com today, ROCHE. Their facilities are in Honesdale and then Chapman Supply in South Abington Township. Great stuff. Hey, I wouldn't have believed it if it wasn't sent to me. But I saw this on Friday, I believe, maybe Saturday. Paige Cognetti, our mayor, once again is AWOL. She's going to Chicago. There's a campaign fundraiser, 6 to 7:30 p.m. tonight. And Mayor Paige Cognetti, well, by the way, she's not even big enough to headline it. A woman by the name of Janelle Stelson is running against Scott Perry in the 10th district. Paige in the 8th, of course, against our great Congressman Rob Bresnahan. This disgrace is leaving town. She's out of town again. And she was seen at the airport this morning. I got sent that as well. It's just slinking out of town, praying that nothing goes wrong because she's not here again. Did I tell you this was going to happen? I told you. So we have an incompetent mayor. Maybe we're better off with her not being. I just don't know. But she's not. But she's going to take the increased paycheck. Oh, she's taking it. No doubt about it. She's taking it. To fly to Chicago on a Monday. Not for city business. For Paige Cognetti business, which, by the way, is what it's all about for her and her followers. It's all about Paige Cognetti. It's not about the city of Scranton. It's not about the disaster she has in the downtown. It's like a battlefield. Downtown Scranton right now is like a battlefield. Exhausting. You would think, well, look, I can't leave town for a little bit because I've got to figure out how to help the people who've been screwed by these water main breaks. I've got to figure out how to help them and what to do for them and talk to them and console them and lead. No, I'm off to Chicago for a fundraiser first thing Monday morning. We'll take a break and be back. 9:21 on my Picardo's watch. Disgrace. Elvis Presley, Murph tells us this date, 1956, he performed at the Olympia Theater in Miami, Florida. He would do 7 shows in 2 days. That's Heartbreak Hotel. And, of course, before that, the man they're trying to cancel, Christopher Columbus, he set sail. I mean, there's really nothing comparable to what Columbus did. Setting sail into the unknown. You talk about unbridled courage, and how about the guys on the boat? The boats. Insane. Insane. But no, let's cancel Christopher. Oh, my God almighty. Now back to this Fauci ass. No, that's too mild. That's just someone being stupid. Fauci is evil. He's an evil scumbag. Sorry. Bob ALTS. Well, I think Fauci, somebody text in, I think back at you, by the way, should be sitting in jail. No visitors, wearing masks, and getting all the shots and boosters. Why did we listen to him? I got the shot because I was working in healthcare and held out as long as I could. I hate this man. He ruined our country. If I met him, I think I'd slap him across his smug, lying face. Had to vent. Thank you, Bob. Never again. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Charlatans like him. And by the way, we knew this. He screwed up the AIDS response as well. I mean, a pattern of disgrace for 30 years had already been established by this scumbag. Unbelievable. Somebody said, I never realized how large District 9 was. It must stretch from Washington, D.C. through Philly. I believe it's 8. But anyway. Yeah, I never realized how large the district, where congressional district Rob Bresnahan was serving. It must stretch from Washington, D.C. through Philly, up to Scranton, then west to Chicago. It must be, because why should D.C., Philly, and Chicago give money for an election that the electorate wouldn't have a direct effect upon? I know. Yeah, District 8. They said I mean District 8. Yeah. No, see, Paige Cognetti, and I'm telling you, guys, you got to know this. If you're voting for her, and a lot of people did for Mayor of Scranton, by the way. And I'm like, could they have conceivably lived in Scranton and voted for Paige Cognetti? But that's another story. This is worse. This is worse. And her failings have become more apparent. But this person running around gallivanting, and that's what she'll do as a congressperson. Forget any constituent service. Forget taking care of the home front. She will be a squad member. A disgrace. My God. I'm telling you guys, you think about this, and she's gone for 2 massive water main breaks that devastate downtown businesses. And what does she do the week following? She goes away again to raise more money. You know why? Because she can't raise anything here. Because she needs left-wing lunatics to give her left-wing lunatic money, like the Soros family, multiple members maxing out. Who are the Soroses? These ain't normal people. These are sick America haters supporting her. And the Philly fundraiser she was at during the last pipe break was run by a guy, this little twerp, who his life's work is mutilating children with fake gender-affirming care. That's his life's mission, which means it's Paige's life mission, or he wouldn't be hosting a fundraiser for her. Please, she's a lunatic. She's an incompetent. And she's a liar. We know that. Just watch one of her commercials. Wow. 9:30. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Bacardos tells me we've got to take this break. We'll come back. We've got the Veterans Tribute. We've got the weather. And I hope he doesn't get impatient and impetuous and he continues to hold our man Larry from Plymouth on Trump and the Iran war, because it's actually something I want to talk about. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Eastern Roofing Systems. His first company, his biggest company, they are the premier roofing contractor in the eastern United States. Headquartered in Jessup, major operation hubs in Baltimore, Maryland, and Columbia, South Carolina. Eastern Roofing System takes all that expertise, all that buying power, and they bring it to your project here in Northeast Pennsylvania. They'll even do your house because he loves it here, and he loves to work here. Eastern Roofing Systems. Thomas Gamble. He was 79. He was from Forest City. We lost him June 2nd at the Gino Murley Center. Born in Carbondale, member of St. John's Byzantine Catholic Church, Forest City. 1964 graduate of Forest City Regional School. He was a graduate at East Stroudsburg University as well. Veteran of the United States Navy, having served during the Vietnam War. Thomas Gamble. Ronald Capes. He was 77 from Hazel Township. We lost him May 16th. Born in Hazleton, member of St. Cyril and Methodius at Church of St. Joseph and the former St. Ladislaus Church. Graduate of Hazel Township High School, class of 1966. Veteran of the U.S. Army, serving in Vietnam from 1968 to 1970 with the 4125 Infantry Division, attaining the rank of Specialist, 4th class. Prior to retiring, he was employed as an assistant manager at Gould Market in Cunningham. Survived by his sister, cousins, friends, Ronald Capes. William Wild Bill Hilbert. He was 80. He was from Freeland. Born in Bethlehem. He was honorably discharged Army veteran, serving from 1965 to 1970 during the Vietnam War. He was a recipient of the Purple Heart. Preceding him in death, in addition to his parents, his wife, Margaret, in 2020, tragically, a son, Jason. Surviving his daughter, sisters, and other family members, including grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Wild Bill Hilbert. Robert Moshart. He was 87. We lost him April 26th. Bob was born in Honesdale, graduate of St. Paul's High School in Scranton and Penn State University. He enjoyed a varied career in a number of locations, ending back at his starting point of St. Paul's. He was an Air Force veteran. He was his own man and lived his life on his own terms. He's survived by a number of family members, including my cousins, James and Rita Moshart, his brother and sister-in-law. Other family members include Todd Marshart, another great veteran. Nieces, nephews, brothers, and more. Robert Moshart. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Eastern Roofing Systems. AccuWeather forecast. Today, a shower in the area this morning, otherwise mostly cloudy and humid. High 82. All of this, by the way, brought to you by our great friends at Montage Mountain, the water park. Tonight, mainly clear, fog, cooler, low 57. Tomorrow, patchy fog will reduce visibility in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be sunny to partly cloudy. The nicest day of the week, high 87, low 61. It's got water park written all over it, doesn't it? Wednesday, humid with times of clouds and sun, high 84, low 70. Thursday, times of clouds and sun, couple of showers and a thunderstorm possible. Very humid, high 86, low 69. Friday, times of sun and clouds with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Humid, high 85, low 69. And this is another great water park week at Montage, where it's 72 degrees right now. This date, 1963, an ode to everyone who ever went away to camp. I did date camp. That was enough torture. Alan Sherman debuted on the charts with his hit Hello Mutta, Hello Fada. I forgot that punchline that he was there for a day. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Well, this Thursday, I'm going to be hosting an event for Providence Pregnancy Center, emceeing. And my co-MC is on the blower to tell us more about it and remind us about it. It's Providence Pregnancy Center is one of the greatest places there is. They save lives every day, and you could be part of that amazing mission. And here's Jerry Featherby to tell us more about it. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Bob. Good morning. I spent 4 years at Camp Shinawa in Lake George, New York.
And you're a good
I was
singer,
a camp counselor.
so you could sing that song.
Bob, I was cracking up because it's all true, right?
I know.
The truth is funny.
Oh, Lord. We took things a little lighter back then, I guess, right? No helicopter parents. So, Jerry, tell us about Thursday night for Providence Pregnancy Center.
Well, one of the most exciting things, listeners, is that Bob Cordaro will be the co-MC with me.
And what do we got? Bourbon and wine and cigars? Is that what we have?
We have a fine mix of curated bourbon and wine, and cigars for the men and ladies if that's their thing. And we have jazz music. We have hors d'oeuvres featured from State Street Grill. They donated all the heavy hors d'oeuvres, as well as Stone Meadow Gardens donating the space. So this is going to be an event that is just going to be beautiful, despite the possible thunderstorms.
Well, let me say this, and I
have you prayed to the gods yet, Bob?
Whatever time we're speaking, let's hope it's earlier rather than later, because I might have I might get loose-lipped after some bourbon and wine.
With the bourbon tasting, okay. Well, as long as those loose lips encourage everyone that is there and everyone listening to bid on the silent auction items. We have fabulous silent auction items. I just want to feature two real quick, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. We have a one-week beachfront escape, Ocean 22 by Hilton Grand Vacation Club in Myrtle Beach. It was donated by Emily Deary and her husband, Brian. I made the opening bid because it's going to be a wonderful surprise for my husband's birthday. So I'm looking for somebody out there to outbid me.
Nice.
It's a two-bedroom suite. It can accommodate up to 6 guests. There's a private ocean balcony. It's just gorgeous. There's also Roba Family Farms, and that is a 4-season set fun farm-style family thing going on. It's not just the one weekend pumpkin and you're done. It's a whole family package. And for many people, that turns into a tradition going there. And it's winter, summer, spring, fall. For men, there are lots of lady gifts. There's designer luxury purses. For women, there's designer luxury purses. So it's just going to be an incredible event because, Bob, you know about the Providence Pregnancy Center and what it offers.
It saves the lives of children. It saves the lives of those mothers. It teaches them how to be mothers. Man, somebody asking when and where.
Yes.
So repeat that. That's worth repeating. I'll be talking about it all week. But
Thank you. Yes, so it's this Thursday, 6 to 9 o'clock at Stone Meadow Gardens in Clark Summit.
What's that address? Because people will be near Scranton Country Club, but...
Yes, you know what? I know it's on Scranton Country Club Road.
Okay.
I don't know the exact address off the top of my head, but I do know this.
And I had never heard of Stone Garden. It's relatively new. Well, next time you call in, you let us know. That's all.
Yeah. If I can call in again soon, that'll be great.
And I put it on Facebook and Instagram today, and that has the address. But all right.
You know, it's fun, Bob, sharing with your listeners that you and I go way back to the early 90s when we were on radio. Yeah, you are. Did you own that? You own that station, right, Bob?
Built it and owned it.
Yes. And I was an early morning radio host.
Yes, and sales. You did it all.
And sales, yeah. That's right. I did do the sales.
Well,
so
Jerry,
I'm really looking forward to Thursday night with you.
Well, check it out. Check with us again tomorrow or Wednesday, or both if you so choose. Because this is an important event, an important fundraiser for Providence Pregnancy Center, which is
one more thing before I go. Thank you, Bob. Can I give away a free ticket to the first person who calls you after I hang up?
We got all kinds of rules, so probably not.
Okay. All right.
I wish you could. No, like
All right.
giveaways, we got to go through a whole process. Yeah, so
I
wish we
hear
could.
you. Okay.
All
All right.
Jerry.
It was a good idea, listeners.
It was a good
So,
idea. Well, tell them
yeah,
to pay
yeah.
for the damn thing. We want to raise money.
It's so true. It's so true.
All
Just
right,
go right on
Jerry.
the website and get your ticket. Thanks, Bob. I'll call you
Providence
again.
Pregnancy Center,
Thanks so much.
PPC, right? PPC.org.
Org.
All right, great. Thank you, Jerry.
Wonderful.
We'll talk
Thank
to you
God
again.
bless you and your day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bulldog, should we let's go to Larry. Play the theme song. I hope there's enough time for Larry to unleash if that's what he chooses to do. How are you, Larry?
Hey, Bob. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Hey, the
Bob,
Kielbasa Festival down your town this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Starts Friday.
And the Bulldog will be there. Are you judging this year, Bulldog? You don't have to buy it. I just nod or say. Oh, they haven't asked the. Oh, the Bulldog got thrown out as a judge. I don't know, Larry.
But Bob, I'm talking Trump, Bob.
Yes.
Paper tiger. Paper tiger, Bob.
I'm not. Larry, here was. I wanted to bring this up because I was initially infuriated when he granted another pause. And I thought to myself, I just got furious because this has been dragging on. It should have been, all of this should have been just executed without question until they came begging with a deal, not just a deal in hand, but hey, this is over. And I'll say this. The only thing I'll say is I disagree with him completely on how he's handled this. I agree completely we had to do it, however. And I also understand it's easy for me because I'm not the one killing people or risking our soldiers, sailors, and airmen.
Well, Bob, let me tell you. They say he was pressured by those countries over there. I thought we were supposed to be the top dog.
Yep.
And you know, you say you're not the one putting people in battle. And I want to give you a quote, Bob. It says, every attempt to make war easy and safe will result in humiliation and disaster.
Mm-hmm.
William Tecumseh Sherman. War is not safe, Bob. It's not easy. You have to accept death. And that's the way it is. And
or don't do it. I agree. I agree.
And he said he's going to negotiate. Bob, you can't negotiate with those towel heads. Bob, the only thing they understand is a bullet between the eyes. And before I would do that, you know what I would do, Bob? I would castrate them with a dull knife and then see if them 77 virgins are going to help them.
Well, that's a little harsh, Lawrence, but
you don't think they're
listen,
harsh?
No, they are evil. They need to be killed. There's not a better choice. Period. That's it. There's just not a choice.
Bob, but here's what's scary. I talked to somebody I know the other night, and we were talking about the election coming up, and I said, this Congress election is very important. I said, Rob Bresnahan. He said, I don't know him. I said, he's your congressman. Oh, he's a crook. He's a crook.
Who said this?
I said he was rich before he got in there. And then I asked who. I said, what do you think of Paige Cognetti? I never heard of her. I said, you always talk about George Soros, how he's trying to take over the world. Well, his whole family is giving her thousands of dollars. Bob, it's scary.
And it gets worse with Paige Cognetti. There's a group, JB just reminded me so I could bring it up, a group called Fight Agency. They represented Graham Plattner, Paige Cognetti, Abdul El Sayed, that's the sicko in Michigan, and Zoran Mandami. Disgraceful. Hey, we got to run, but Larry, hold. We'll be back. It's 9:50 on my Bacardo's watch. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Murph tells us this date, 1963. They had the number one easy listening charts hit with Blowing in the Wind. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program, WILK. We're also on live stream. You go to YouTube, and you'll find us under Bob Cordaro Show, WILK. Roach Supply bringing us that. Somebody texted, and this is fair. This is fair and important to point out. Because as I told you, I don't have. It's easy for me to say. And it's easy for Larry to say. Come on, finish the job on all that. But we don't have the intelligence the president has, number one. Number two, we're not the ones killing people directly and putting our soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines on in harm's way. That's number one. But JB points out there's 90 million people. It's actually like 93 million people in the country in Iran. You have to pick it apart, and it's being done systematically, so we don't have many innocent people dying. The guy's ended 9 wars. He stopped the war in the Middle East that had been going on for decades, and yet he's not getting any credit. So you're right. I'm with you. I've got to be patient. I'm worried about the midterms. The slime balls that could get elected. That's what I'm worried about. Because you've got to face the weakness of the American voter. You've got to accept the attention span or lack thereof of the American voter. Cabinet guy texts in, Bob, the Mayor Cognetti's off to Chicago today. Spotted at the airport this morning waiting in line. Surprised she's not on a private jet, possibly Soros's plane. Yep, I know. She's a useful idiot for them. She's not some important cog, and never will be, by the way, because she's too lazy. She doesn't do the job she has right in front of her. That doesn't mean she's going to do the next job. In fact, it means she's not going to. Somebody texts in, maybe someone should inform the people that Biden was not as sharp as attack. Russia collusion was a made-up story. The Hunter Biden laptop was real, and Fauci is a lying sack of crap megalomaniac. They haven't demonized anybody who dare question any of the above. They haven't listened to this. He says, I don't listen to the station before 9 a.m. for 5 years. It's like romper room for Democrat sycophants. Somebody says, good morning, Bob. LTS, no more Monday musings? Of course there are. He was off recuperating from a shoulder operation. So he's good. Somebody texts in, my mom got a postcard promoting Page for Congress that looks like handwritten, but it isn't, which is postmarked from Portland, Oregon. Here's the issue. It's got my mom's address, but a name of someone who doesn't live there. Are they padding the election rolls? Is this person, meaning the one that's supposed to get the postcard, to vote at the polls using my mom's address or send in a vote by mail? There's something fishy going on. They'll do anything. They will cheat. They'll steal as many votes as they can. The left is on the march, and they will do anything. Believe that. By the way, Lee texts in the Providence Pregnancy Center event Thursday is at 1273 Country Club Road. It's going to be great. It really is. Someone texting in, but this is the troll. Trump is in negotiations for unconditional Iranian surrender. Well, whatever. You've proven yourself stupid in the past, so whatever you're saying is probably dumb. Bob, there's some group of West Coast that is bombarding our area with pro-Page mailers and flyers. They're encouraging the Democrat voters to vote for her, but they're not even from around here. They're from the West Coast. What's that all about? The Democrat machine is big and well-oiled. Hey, I was with a Democrat elected official, and he said, you don't know the half of how horrible a mayor Paige Cognetti is. You don't know the half of how horrible a mayor she is. You don't know, and no way am I supporting her to make things worse. Crazy stuff. And I've said it. And I want to remind you of this. For those people, some kidding, some serious, saying the only way we get rid of Paige Cognetti is to elect her to Congress. So I'm voting for Paige Cognetti for Congress. Well, 90% of them are kidding. Some of them are serious. But for those of you who are thinking that, she's put people in, many of them from out of town, on city committees. She's going to control who the next mayor is. That's number one. Number two, if we let her, number two, this mayor, okay, she'll be gone in a month if she loses the Congress race. She'll be done. She'll move on to Washington, D.C., go with one of these left-wing wacko groups. Believe me, she will. She was a left-wing wacko political consultant before. That's what she'll go back to. I promise you. You won't be stuck with her. All right, 10:02 on my Ricardo's watch. That means we've got to hear from the news from Mark Nashko. Let's hear it from him. We'll be back with Monday Musings and John Perillo after this. Fred Duckman, our man, one of our great contributors, he reminded us of this Lou Monte song. And as you remember from our history in the first hour, Christopher Columbus set sail this date, 1492, Nina Pinta Santa Maria. I guarantee you none of the kids hear this or read it or know anything about it with today's education. It's sad, isn't it? So Paige Cognetti's in Chicago, and we got a song for it. It's in our music history. Do we have it, Bulldog? This date, 1974, Paper Lace, Murph tells us. They moved from number 14 to number 6 with their hit, The Night Chicago Died. Well, tonight's the night they die. They're running a fundraiser for Paige Cognetti in Chicago. She's already taken off 12 hours in advance because, you can't be worried about the city you're actually supposed to be running. I'll bet we could have some fun with this song with Paige Cognetti. Chicago Paige. All right, Bulldog, enough of that. All right, well, it's Monday. Well, you know what that means. Somebody worried that we weren't having the Monday musings anymore. Oh, yes, we are. And that theme song means it's time for John Perillo and Monday musings. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hey, I'm sorry to have missed last week. Listeners, I had a shoulder surgery and was even more loopy than normal. But Bob, I did want to give you what we call in the military Bravo Zulu for your work with the Crisis Pregnancy Center. It's not enough for us to be pro-life. We need to support women that need help.
Yes.
And so thank you for doing that. I really do appreciate that.
Providence Pregnancy Center, and they are amazing. They really are. And it's life-saving, not just for the child, but for the mother. And they teach them skill. Oh, it's just one of the greatest places on earth. It really is.
Thank you for doing that. I really do appreciate that. And for your listeners who haven't figured out yet, I'm a conservative, and to me that means capitalism and conserving the Constitution and conserving the traditions of our country. And while I understand and have voted on occasion using the lesser of two evils argument, what winds up happening if you follow that is a slow drift towards evil, even if you choose lesser. And I only bring that up to point out that I'm on nobody's side right now. I'm a bipartisan curmudgeon. But that said, I do think that the Democratic Socialists of America fall very much into the greater evil category. And I'd like to look at two things today. And the first is that communism and socialism always start with the language of class struggle. But most people have no idea what that means anymore. And there was a writer named Rob Henderson who made some interesting observations about the struggle between the classes that we really should look at. And to do this, we have to understand what is working class. And Mayor Mamdani, one of the poster children for the Democratic Socialist movements, was asked this question. And he replied, quote, this is Mamdani speaking, I think if you have to work to pay your bills, I think that's one definition of being part of the working class. Well, gee, I don't know, maybe 10 people who don't fall into that category. But he gets pushed by the interviewer, and he says he'd draw the line at, quote, about $1 million a year. Really? So somebody making $990,000 is middle class? And this matters because this kind of socialism isn't a movement for those struggling economically. It's a movement for control. And then there's Bernie Sanders, millionaires and billionaires. But even Bernie has dropped the millionaires from his list of villains since he very much is one, right? But Henderson argues, and I agree, that money, income, is the wrong measurement. We talk about economic class, but what we mean is social class. And we talk about money because it's easier to use that as a differentiator than what really segregates America, which is education, zip codes, how we dress, and stuff like that. And we can distill all the other stuff other than income down to education because that correlates better than all those other measurements. And in 2021, Ezra Klein pointed out that, quote, we tend to think of class as driven by income, but that, quote, a high school dropout who owns a successful pest extermination business in the Houston exurbs might have an income that looks a lot like a software engineer at Google's, while an adjunct professors will look more like an apprentice plumber's. And in terms of class experience, who they know, what they believe, how they vote, act, and protest, the software engineer is more like the adjunct professor, end quote. Or to say it as Henderson says, quote, a PhD who takes a job driving a taxi will tend to vote like other PhDs and not like taxi drivers. And that's why Bernie and Mondami and AOC are more popular with the young, urban, overeducated population than with plumbers, electricians, and other laborers. And things like abolishing the police make no sense to the poor and working class because they understand that rules keep them safe. They live surrounded by disorder, Henderson's word, so they value order. And the working class lives with rules in their working life, which is why the electrician or roofer values and understands the purpose of rules, right? They exist to keep them safe. So they understand them more than, say, a person who may earn less, but who works at a job that doesn't involve any physical risk, like our adjunct professor. So the Democratic Socialists are pursuing these socially liberal workers, the not quite millionaires, who think they are working class, and they're making real headway with them. And as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, the Democratic Socialists of America is the most popular part of the Democratic Party, and they are very much the party of the young, which represents an absolute failure of our education system and of families, myself included, by the way, to educate young people as to why we believe in capitalism. So let's please hold our definition of working class for a moment. Just remember that it isn't what most politicians say it is. And the second thing, because it's Monday Musings, is to look at these socialist movements in a historical context. And just a couple of data points here. And please note, I'm using the DSA's own words. This isn't my opinion. From the DSA platform, quote, we stand against capitalist class and the politicians that serve their interests, end quote. Here's Chairman Mao's platform, unites the working class and peasants against, quote, imperialism, feudalism, and bureaucratic capitalism. Okay, let's go back to the DSA. Again, quote, put workers in charge of the government through a new democratic constitution, end quote. That was Mao's Common Program itself was a new constitution, replacing the 1946 Constitution of the Republic of China. The DSA, again, quote, proportional representation in a single federal legislature, meaning the abolition of the U.S. Senate. Mao's Common Program established the National People's Congress as, quote, the highest body of state power, one legislative body. Back to the DSA, quote, the largest corporations are put under public ownership and democratic control. Mao's Common Program, quote, development of production through socialist relations of productions, with the state prioritizing state-owned economy. You know, there's much more, but I think you get the point. This doesn't even touch on the openly anti-Semitic stance of the party. And remember what I said, there has never in the history of the world been a society that is both free and anti-Semitic. And what you'll generally hear from our good friends on the left is something like, well, I'm being ridiculous. You know, the Democratic Socialists are not Mao. And then I'm just being overly dramatic. And allow me to point out that historically, every Marxist-Leninist party that has ever taken power on a moderate platform has purged its coalition partners and began killing within a decade. Every single one. There are no historical exceptions. Not one, none. Some data points from history that we don't teach in school anymore. Right? The Khmer Rouge took Phnom Penh in April 17th of 1975. And that was supposed to be a moderate group of Cambodian nationalists. In less than 4 years, they had murdered over 1.7 million of their own population of a population of 8 million. And we really don't know the final numbers, but they killed enough that they ran out of bullets and began suffocating their victims with plastic bags. Fidel Castro, quoted in the New York Times in 1957, saying, quote, I have said clearly and definitively that we are not communists, end quote. He was about workers' rights and all that. All the same stuff you're hearing today. 11 days after he took power, they were conducting their first mass firing squads, and they were supervised by Che Guevara, you know, the guy with the T-shirt guy.
Yeah,
right?
everybody admires him. Yeah.
The Bolsheviks who killed the Tsar and his ministers had a platform of, quote, peace, land, and bread. In 1917, they lost their election, but that didn't matter because Lenin dissolved the assembly anyway, and 10 months later, the Red Terror began. The bread that Lenin promised resulted in 5 million dead from starvation, and that was before the Party of Workers went to neighboring countries and continued their efforts on behalf of poor workers there. Hugo Chavez said in 1998, we're not going to expropriate. We're not communists. It took him a bit longer, but within 8 years, he had packed their Supreme Court, rewrote their Constitution, and by 15 years had taken control of over 1,100 companies, bringing in 130,000% inflation. Oh, and their GDP collapsed by 78%. Daniel Ortega returns to power in Nicaragua in 2006, saying he's just a reformed Democrat who had accepted pluralism. In 2018, he had killed at least 255 protesters. We really don't know because they just disappeared, and deported the rest of his political opponents to the U.S. And still, I think Mao is the best example. His, quote, common program was adopted in 1949, and his land reform executions began within 1 year, and he killed up to 5 million landlords in 4 years because, as you've heard from the Democratic Socialists of America, it's all about greedy landlords.
Yep.
Okay? But because he was a nice guy, he invited people to critique the party in the 100 Flowers campaign, and he used the results of that survey to arrest another 500,000 to 1.3 million and send them to labor camps. And again, we don't know the totals, but by 1968, the Party of Reform, of moderate reform, was officially organizing cannibalism. They were forcing prisoners to eat other prisoners because by doing so, they felt that those who participated couldn't really criticize the government anymore. I mean, I guess that's fair. Right? Every one of these movements, and I didn't list them all because, again, we just don't have the time, all started with groups saying they were just moderates. Mao's Great Leap Forward alone killed more human beings in just 4 years than every American war in the history of the United States combined times 30. Think about that for a second. Right? It always starts with, quote, the largest corporations are put under public ownership and democratic control. Whether it's a Republican saying that or a Democrat saying it, it ends in every historical instance in mass murder. Historically, there are none, nada, zero instances of this turning out differently. What makes our Constitution worth conserving is the brilliance of it being based on the separation of the individual and the state, of the independence of business and individuals to pursue profits, of independent courts determining what the Constitution says or doesn't say, of the protection of property, all of it, from theft by the state, of a free and skeptical press, and most importantly, the freedom to be religious, which is the explicit acknowledgement by the founders that they weren't God and therefore not wise enough to make decisions for anyone else. In every circumstance I listed above, that humility doesn't exist. They know what's best for you. And also, in every circumstance I listed above, the benign moderate party runs out of external enemies within a couple of years and then destroys their founders and their coalition because they aren't quite pure enough. And this isn't John Perillo telling you what I think will happen. This is me telling you what has happened every single time it's been tried in the past. And anyone who tells you that this time it's going to be different, hell, they could be right. But all of recorded history, all of it tells you that they're wrong.
Yep.
All of it. And allow me one last quote. Quote, communism is not love. Communism is the hammer, which we will use to crush the enemy. That's Mao speaking. Okay? Again, I'm not, it's possible that this time it's going to be different, but you have to understand the history of socialism.
Well, you have to understand you have to be a total ass and ignoramus to believe them. You have to be a total ass and ignoramus to think it's going to work. And you have to be a total ass and ignoramus to think it's not going to devolve into what has happened in every instance it was tried.
Every single instance. There are no exceptions. Okay, so again, you and the listeners, thank you for your time. You know how much I appreciate that. If you got, when somebody tells you that this time is going to be different, this is why we teach history.
Yes,
right?
Amen. Oh, John Perillo, very timely, and you nailed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob, to you and your listeners for having me on again. I hope you have a great week. Continue your great work with taking care of women who need it. I really do appreciate that, Bob. That's a great charity.
All right, brother. Providence Pregnancy Center. You know it. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. true nature's child. We were born to be wild. August 3rd, 1968. What was Brother Mike? 10 years old at the time? 9? Steppenwolf, Sonny and Cher, Alice Cooper, Canned Heat, the Chambers Brothers, Country Joe and the Fish, and the Paul Butterfield Blues Band all performed together at the premiere of the 2-day Newport Pop Festival, Costa Mesa, California, Murph tells us. Born to be Wild is the song he chose from Steppenwolf. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. And, of course, before that, Jesse Owens. I'm a Gutfeld fan. And when he's on the, the 5, and he goes, in your face, Harold. Well, Jesse Owens winning the medal, the gold medal this date, his first of 4, 1936. In your face, Hitler. Oh, I would have loved to have slapped that man. I slapped him publicly, front, back. I told you I have my theory about the slapper. If we just had people to point, and whenever you make an ass of yourself or say something ridiculous, you get slapped. And then people would laugh, and people who continuously make asses of themselves, the slapper would just keep slapping them, and they'd never be taken seriously. Not like today. Bernie Sanders is taken seriously. And Tony T had texted in last week, but I hadn't seen it till just now. He said, if Bernie wants to prove how great socialism is, let him donate his homes and his money to start the ball rolling. Well, they never will. Very good point, Tony T. Tony T gives us an ALTS today. He says, touch a little bit on how the Democrats are out of money. And oddly enough, the spigot from USAID and Ukraine, I will add, and all these other fraudulent entities are being shut down. Coincidence? I think not, says Tony T. I agree with you. They were getting money from all of these insane idiots. Believe me, they were. They were getting money from all of these nonprofits that were sucking the teat of our tax money. Nonprofits, NGOs. Unreal. It's just disgusting. And that's who they were getting the money from. So Tony T nails it again. All right. Somebody said, let's see. Hello, Bob. Bob's listeners, LTS to you. Bob, please, people, they're advocating you. If you care at all about this country, you must get out and vote for Bresnahan and all the conservative Republicans. We must, please, do not sell out this country. This is vitally important. Cognetti, out. I'm with you. Somebody said, is she running? Is Cognetti running as an independent? She's taking on the good old boys network? Everyone, Democrats, independents, Republicans. What a gal. It's all a phony lie. It's all a phony lie. Disgusting. So does anyone with an ounce of common sense or at least a bit of inquisitive thinking would ask, why is the mayor of Scranton, PA in Chicago for a fundraiser? By the way, Body Shop Guy wants to know why the post office in Pittston is constantly closed due to staffing issues. I don't know, Body Shop Guy. That's for you to find out and tell me. You the man, Body Shop Guy. I don't know what the situation is. Anyway, hey, it's 10:34. That means we've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Veterans Tribute, weather, and more. Our Veterans Tribute this hour brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Eastern Roofing Systems, the premier roofing contractor in the Eastern United States. John's first company, his biggest company. He's a roofer at heart. Loves to build. And they take all that expertise, all that buying power, and they bring it to you in Northeast Pennsylvania for even your house. But they do major projects all over this region as well. Eastern Roofing Systems. Stanley Tumovich. We lost him July 23rd. He was 87. He was from Dunmore. He and his wife, the former Anne-Marie Pitta, would have celebrated their 59th anniversary this year. Born in Scranton, he was a member of St. Anthony of Padua Church, which is now St. John Paul II Parish in Dunmore. A graduate of the great Scranton Technical High School and Pennsylvania State University. Stanley served as an MP in the U.S. Army. He later enjoyed a long career as an architectural designer and inspector for numerous home builders until his retirement. He's pictured in his obit in his uniform. A kind and gentle man, Stanley was a gifted tradesman who could fix anything. In addition to his wife, he survived by a son, Lee, a brother, Paul, numerous nieces and nephews. Stanley Tumovich, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his Great Eastern Roofing Systems. Montage, your home for great weather and the water park. Let's not forget that. They're bringing you the accurate weather forecast, which says today, shower in the area in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy and humid, high of 82. Tonight, mainly clear, fog, cooler, low 57. Tomorrow, Tuesday, patchy fog will reduce visibility in the morning. Otherwise, sunny to partly cloudy, nicest day of the week, high 87, low 61. A water park day at Montage for show. Wednesday, humid with times of clouds and sun, high 84, low 70. Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, very humid, high 86, low 69. Friday, times of sun, clouds with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, humid, high 85, low 69. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort and the Montage Water Park. 74 degrees right now on the mountain. The Doors. Murph tells me this date, 1968, they had their second #1 hit with Hello, I Love You. Love that song. It moved from number 9 to number 1 on this date that year. Bob Cordaro back with you. By the way, not only is Paige Cognetti using the same company, Fight, to run her campaign as Mamdani Graham Plattner, that sickening Al Sayed in Michigan. It's just, you can't make this up. The Soros family maxing out on their contributions. Every left-wing lunatic with all their lunatic issues. God, you cannot vote for her. There's got to be something wrong with you if you vote for her. I'm telling you. You want gender mutilation of children. That's what an entire fundraiser focused on, that sick issue for Paige Cognetti. Please remember that. And don't think Shapiro is normal. I've told you this over and over again. Let's follow the money with Shapiro. George Soros, $750,000. Michael Bloomberg, $5,500,000. Reid Hoffman, the Netflix ass, $2,150,000. This is insane. Single contributors from all these, by the way, none of them from Pennsylvania. Single contributors, the tops at $6 million, a creature called Jennifer Duda from California. This is nuts. They've taken over. You normal Democrats out there who are still voting for Democrats, they've taken over. It's over. You send our Democrats, local Democrats, oh, they're nice people, they're nice. Vote for them. They are owned when they get to Harrisburg by the lunatics. Please remember that. Please let it sink in. Let it sink in. All right, let's go to Walter Griffith. Update on the petition drive. Another thing we need to do to play catch up to the lunatic
Yep.
left on Luzerne County Council.
Yep. And before I forget, I just want to tell people that this is our last week for signatures. We have to have them turned in by Monday. Their deadline is August the 8th to collect all that we can collect.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Grantede is over at West Pittston across from Garrity's today. And if you need to get a signature, get over there and get signed in so we can get that done. On the other development that we had on Friday, and of course it was Friday afternoon when that was released, was from the outside of our area, as you were just talking about. We have people from outside our area trying to put this ordinance through. And I found through my right to know request for emails that activist from Lehigh County was working with the council chair, Mr. Sabatino, and the vice chair, Brittany Stevenson, to bring this ordinance to Luzerne County. And when they found out that we filed a referendum petition to stop it, she sent an email to the chair and vice chair saying, you have to stop them right away.
Yep.
That was sent the very day that they found out that we were fighting the ordinance. So, see, this outside influence that's coming in here to try and regulate our county, we don't need this ordinance. That's the big issue. The second issue, it's going to cost the taxpayers tons of money in litigation. They say it won't. They say the commission's only $1,500 for the commission. Right. That's to run the commission. That's not to pay for the lawsuits, the Office of Law, the Human Resources Department, all of the things that the county manager has to do to make this thing work. She has to send letters out to everybody in the county to tell them that they have this new ordinance now.
This is a massive tax increase in and of itself. And they don't care. They don't care.
It's going to increase the Office of Law's budget probably by about $100,000 a year, just to make sure that he has adequate funding to take care of any complaints that he gets, if he gets any. We don't have an issue here. We're looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. And that's the problem that I have.
But
and
see,
that's why we
when they
filed
got the lunatic left money, when the Democrats on the county council took the out-of-town lunatic left money, they are required to sing for their supper, and this anti-discrimination ordinance is exactly what that is.
And I don't understand the logic. I know we had 4 people that voted against it. Thank God for the 4. But those people need to bring a motion to remove Sabatino as the chair. This man is unhooked on our council. He's taking outside legal advice. He's not going through the Office of Law. He's doing all the stuff from outside of the county, doing these things without council knowing. These members of council don't know what's going on. He's doing it on his own with another member or a couple members of council. And that's not how our government should run. There's 11 members elected on our council. Those 11 members should be consulted on every decision that happens by that branch, not by 2, not by 4, not by 7. And that's not happening because they want to get their agenda through in this county.
Amen.
Let's channel our energy on fixing the county, roads and bridges. Let's figure out a way we keep our taxes low, cut spending, do the things that you need to do to keep our lifestyle right here instead of spending money on trying to change it to fit your LBDGQ narrative. You know, and that's what we got going on right now.
All right, Walter. So
We need
last
to get
week
people out to sign the
for
petition.
the petition drive, Granteeds is across from Garrity's, right?
And across from Garrity's in West Pittston.
And that's today. All right, man.
That's today.
Thank you very
All right,
much,
thanks
Walter.
so much, Bob.
Always
I
a
appreciate
pleasure.
your support.
We got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, we will return. Murph tells us this date, 1985, Tears for Fears moved up to #1 with their hit Shout. Oh, and I missed Murph last night. The rain came. I had my heart set on going to the Bucktown Music Fest and that charity event before that. And they had to move it indoors. And so Cutie and I didn't go. And I figured, well, Murph's not going to. Murph sang. And so we missed Murph's performance. I'm very disappointed. I have a copy of it. It's just not good enough to be able to. It's not airworthy in terms of sound quality. That's a shame. You guys would have loved it. Anyway, let's go to Donald from Pittston. Hey, Donald, how are you?
Oh, good. Listen, I want to tell you something. Yeah, I think you got to do it. Well, I think you have to do what Wegmans did. They recently they said no. The Wegmans, they're like a big capitalist company, the food company.
Yeah.
They threw in the towel. Good for them. Natural gas and EV tractor trailers. Their diesel repairs are down 80%. They're keeping food costs down, and it's a good thing. They said and, they're not going to be relying on this oil and nonsense. Because you saw what happened with Bush and Cheney in 2009 when they left the inauguration day. Bush was at 22% over these gas prices, and Cheney at 7%. So we got to do something. You're going to elect communists.
Well, at least this time we're going to get something out of it, and it was important. Right. At least this time, let me
talk. That's what they're going to do. The first thing they'll do is rebuild Iran. Then they'll do it like Carter did. They'll give them money, and they'll give, like Carter gave away the Panama Canal. You get a liberal like Carter in there, like he did. They'll give the strait away. They'll pay a toll. And it's ridiculous. These communists have no solutions to these problems.
Nothing.
These people are downright communists. If you talk to these people like I did, it's scary, with the earrings and the piercings and all different colored hair. They're like serious about this.
And Donald, there is nobody. We have our mayor. Our mayor of Scranton's a communist. She's out raising money in Chicago instead of doing her job. Instead of doing her job.
Get rid of the Senate.
Donald, we can't talk at the same time.
Okay.
She's out in Chicago raising money from left wingers, and I mean true sick people. The same thing in Bala Cynwyd last time. She's out of town. She's AWOL from her job. How could she possibly do a good job on the next thing? No.
These Democrats are crazy. Warren Buffett's money is in play. Everybody's. Obama's. She was on CNN. She said abolish the Congress, Senate, everything. You get rid of the Pentagon. They had questioned the woman on Fox News, the chairman of the communists. They said, no, we're getting rid of all the wealth. Everybody is going to be the same, and it's a whole different scenario. They want nothing. There's no government left. It's totally insanity. These people I don't know if they were raised in their parents' basement. They don't have a clue about government or nothing. They're uneducated people, and they're taking over. But we have to get, like I said, I understand, because when you talk to people, you have to address the problem. And this gasoline's hurting people and energy. I understand that, but you don't give up your country over high gas and energy prices. You just sweat it out a little bit, and we'll get through this like we always do. And that's the only thing that worries about me. I wish we could do some of these gas prices, Bob. What do you think?
Well, I think he's got to end this and end it in brutal fashion. And I've been saying this for 3 months now. You've got to do whatever's necessary to open the Strait of Hormuz, including troops on the ground. Period. Do it. Done. Yeah. You can't be half pregnant. And I said, I don't have the responsibility. I don't have the intelligence he has, number one, in terms of reports and information. Number two, I would not be. I'm not responsible. I could say anything I want. I'm not responsible, but for putting our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines in harm's way. He is. Every death is on him. Every civilian death in Iran is on him. So I get it. But, man, we can't lose these midterms to these lunatics.
It's a 50-50 split. Now, our weakness is the gas, energy, but our strength is a closed border and against this transgender nonsense. Nobody wants it. So it's like a 50-50 split. Now,
Paige Cognetti wants it. Paige Cognetti, a fundraiser from Bala Cynwyd, whose entire job By the way, he's probably
Oh God,
he's probably some person who inherited their money. This
Unbelievable.
fool, his entire issue, and that's why he had the fundraiser for it, because it's hers, is to mutilate children
Why would you
who
operate
have
on
gender
innocent
dysphoria.
kids like that?
It's
Experiment
sick.
with them, government experiment. Oh God, you got to
Sick.
pray to Jesus.
It's ill.
Honest to God, it's
Evil.
so sick. It's so sad.
All right,
Evil.
man. We got to go,
The
my
doctors
brother.
that do this should be for your prison.
Yes, they should have their hands broken.
These fake medical examinations and everything.
Yep. All right. Well,
Jeff,
Donald,
thank you,
always a
Bob.
pleasure. Thank you, my man,
too.
because it's 11 o'clock on the Bacardo Jewelers Watch, which means we've got to go. Let's hear the news. Mark Nashko in doing that. We'll come back. Bob Cordaro Show. You know it does, and we're fighting it. Great good morning, everyone. 11:07 a.m. on my Bacardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Monday, August 3rd, year of our Lord 20 and 26 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John. Like Stanley Tumovich, Dunmore, should have known that. Robert Moshard, Scranton. Thomas Gamble, Forest City. Ronald Capes, Hazel Township. And William Wild Bill Hilbert, Bethlehem, but he was from Freeland. Andrew Mark Simpson. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, who we will never allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment. Today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. So I missed Mother Teresa on Friday. And Mary Regina, very patient with me when I screw up, but she said, reminder, you didn't do it Friday, so I've got two. And here they are, July 31st for the Friday I missed. It says, bring God to everyone you meet each day. Humility always radiates the glory and greatness of God. How wonderful are the ways of God who chose humility, smallness, helplessness, and poverty to prove his love to the world. Do not be afraid to be humble, small, and helpless in order to prove your love for God and others. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa, for Friday. And for August 3rd, for today, Mother Teresa, the sound of your footsteps in search of souls to love should be like sweet music for Jesus. Keep the thirst for souls ever burning in your hearts. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa, for Friday and today. And Mary Regina also says, wish your brother Mike a great birthday today. And that I will do. All right. So something else is going on great, as always. And these aren't political things that are great, unfortunately. We wish there were good politics in Scranton. There isn't. So be it. People plunge ahead and they do their thing and make things happen anyway. And it's really fabulous. The Scranton Jazz Festival. It's a coming our way. The 21st, August 7th, 8th, 9th. It's going to be fabulous. I cannot wait. I'm jumping out of my skin. And here's our friend Marco Marcinko, who's putting it all together to tell us more about Scranton Jazz. How are you, Marco?
I'm great, Bob, and I get to follow the words of Mother Teresa.
Isn't that great?
I got to step it up.
Well, I say this is a show of contrasts. That's how we do it.
It's amazing. This is an amazing contrast.
Well, none of us could live up to that. I mean, well, tell us. This is it's coming Friday. It's going to be amazing.
Bob, thanks for inviting me to talk a little bit about our 21st annual, 21 years, 21st annual Scranton Jazz Festival. This will happen this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 7, 8, and 9, and it'll take place in downtown Scranton. We have over 20 venues involved with bars, restaurants, retail spaces, taverns that all participate. It's like a mini New Orleans over the weekend with all the music that we have going on in the downtown. And we have some large acts, major international performers coming in over the weekend as well at the theater at North Saturday night. You could see the Dirty Dozen Brass Band directly coming up from New Orleans. And on Sunday night, we have the legendary NEA jazz master Ron Carter, who performed with Miles Davis. And he's one of the most significant musicians in our history, in jazz history and music history. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being on over 2,000 recordings, the most recorded bassist ever in the history of music. And it's a big honor to have him come to Scranton on Sunday night at the Scranton Cultural Center, August 9th, to perform with the Scranton Jazz Festival Big Band. So the weekend is packed with all sorts of music, and it's a great social activity for anyone who might say to themselves, well, I'm not necessarily interested in a jazz festival, but I want to tell you it's a social festival because there's people in the streets walking around. Scranton is a real hustle and bustle type of place over the weekend, and a lot of people are patronizing the city, and we use the entire downtown as our stage for this event. So it's an awesome weekend. We've been doing it 21 years, and if you want to know where to get your tickets, go to scrantonjazzfestival.org.
And it is so fabulous. The whole downtown, it's alive, it's fun, it's happening all weekend. I can't wait till Friday night.
Well, we love when you come, and you've been such a great fan of the Jazz Festival, and we truly appreciate it. It's just great always seeing you walking around and the people greeting you and praising you for what you do at WILK and all our friends at WILK.
Well, I love, I'm a Marco Marcinko groupie. And unabashed. I go to a lot of venues. Now we're going away Sunday, but Friday, Saturday, we have a wedding Saturday, but Fridays are my big night with the Jazz Festival, and I'm just going to be looking for wherever you are, and then wherever I stumble along the way, because it's everywhere. Give us some of the, I guess, you got the headliners, you name some of them. There's a jazz walk, 80-plus musicians in 20-plus downtown venues.
Yes. Let me see if I could do this really quick. Here are the venues in the downtown Scranton that are involved that all have live music, jazz, blues, world beat music involved starting at 6 p.m. going until 1 o'clock in the morning. Venues like AV Restaurant, the Art House Theater, Backyard Ale House, Bar Pazzo, Bartari, Benny's Downtown, Catch 21, the Marketplace at Steamtown, Fidelity Bank Lobby, Joy World Wealth Partners, PJ's Pub, the Colonnade, Radisson Tracks, Patio, the Bog, the Garden, the 16th Ward. How am I doing here? The Voodoo Brewing Company, Pachoki's, Sergey's Live, Atera, 519, the Rooftop at Oppenheim, the Varney Cellar and Tap. I think that covers pretty much all of those.
You could go, and that's the beauty. You could go almost anywhere downtown and hit it. And there's places that a lot of people haven't been to in the downtown.
Right.
They don't realize how hopping it can be. And now you're gonna show them that. That's one of the big things about this event.
And we have a very nice shout out to our Visitors Bureau because they provide us with the trolley shuttle service. That if anyone happens to find themselves on the top of Lackawanna Avenue and wants to catch the show on Penn Avenue, they could jump on the shuttle, which is constantly making a round and making stops throughout the city. That evening on Friday and Saturday, we have shuttle service taking people around if need be. So you could shuttle around or you could walk around, and we love. I got to tell you, Scranton looks amazing on this weekend when you just look out the windows and you see people everywhere, walking up and down the sidewalks and going from place to place. It's just, again, it's like a mini New Orleans. It's really awesome.
Good stuff. Well, hey, thank you for talking to us about this today. We'll get you on for some, some 5-minute clips later in the week, as we discussed. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. The Scranton Jazz Festival starts Friday. Downtown Scranton, runs through Sunday, and it is going to be awesome. Thank you, Marco Marcinko. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
And I, by the way, I know you got a lot of work to do.
I got some stuff going on.
I'm sure you do. Thank you. One of the best musicians you'll ever see, our man Marco Masinko. Thank you, friend.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, 11:18 on the Bacardo's watch. Let's take this break. We'll be back. We got some phones we got to get to. Brian Adams. Murph tells us this date, 1991. He had the number one adult chart, says, with everything I do it for you. Bob Cordaro back. And as I mentioned, Murph performed at the Bucktown Festival. It was moved indoors to Bonavita. Brother Ron said he was awesome. He said he was awesome. We just don't have a good enough sounding, meaning the quality of the sound to put it on the air, but people bragging about our man Murph. He not only knows his music, he can perform it. How about that? All right, we got to go to the phones. Let's go to Chris from Mountaintop. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Bob. It is a great day to be an American where freedom of speech is still legal. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to spread the word about the petition signing event last week on Wednesday and Friday, I believe it was, that I called in. I just want to let you know I'm happy to report that 81 people came out and signed. That is just totally amazing.
Nice. Well, you guys are doing God's work. It's big. It's important. I'm so happy you're doing it, and it's a lot of time.
Yeah, and you know something? It wasn't just people that wanted to sign. Some people came out that had already signed. And what was really good to see is some people that I know had differences within the Republican Party actually came together. And I think it was a good thing.
Well, the other thing, Chris, that this is doing, I hope, is that it's letting people realize that if you turn your back, the left will take over. They will do ridiculous things right under your nose, and we have not been turning out to vote. We haven't been participating in democracy, normal people, and the lunatics take over. And now we've got to take it back.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. Now, just so everybody knows, they still have till the 8th of August to sign. If they have not yet signed and still want to, they can contact their local Republican committee member in their district or contact the Luzerne County Republican Party if they don't know who that person is, and they should be able to tell them.
Well, what is interesting, too, Chris, is that these people, the 7 Democrats who voted for this, they got their money from out-of-town left-wing groups, and now they're singing for their supper. And people have to understand that's how it works. They can pretend they're normal, and I don't believe this, and I'm not left-wing, and I'm not a communist, all they want. They will do it because that's where the money comes from.
I agree. Absolutely.
All right. Well,
listen, thanks again for everything that you do. You're a great partner for the freedom of speech movement in this country. Keep up doing the good work.
I love that you guys are doing what you do. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Jim from Harding. Jim, how are you? Oh, no, I got Luciano. I don't know which one I pressed. Hey.
It's okay. Just as long as you don't call me late for dinner, brother.
Okay.
Listen, have you ever met? I was around some white women. Can I say I love white women? I love what they stand for. But these liberal white women were criticizing me and saying, four of them. One was was half and half. She was moderate. I can't stand a moderate. She was saying, in Spain, the government of Spain, the people of Spain are so wrong and evil for telling all those innocent Moroccans to leave Spain, but they don't know. In Spanish, I was listening on the internet. Spain noticias, Spanish news. The people of that little part of that little town, similar to Scranton in population 80,000, they were yelling and screaming. They were saying all kinds of foul words, MF to the president in front of what he was going through, and the liberal media, the ABC, NBC, did not expose this information. This Spaniard that's similar to Joe Biden. He's a duplicate copy of Joe Biden, only he's a Spaniard from Spain. And we didn't need to pray for this country, Bob, because we're in a terrible situation with these radical and especially white women. I tell you, I love white women for what they stand for, but they are so sympathetic, so cowardly, so pathetic. And these poor women, they were saying foul words to me, brother. And I'm saying, listen, I'm Latino. Can't you see I'm Latino? He says, well, you're betraying your people. You're so filthy. You know, I can't believe the insanity that's around me, and it was like a Twilight Zone situation for 20 minutes when I confronted one, and then three of them came out of the store. But Bob, have a pleasant day and keep up the good work, brother.
All right, my man.
Take care.
Thank
Bob.
you, Luciano.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Jim from Harding. Hey, Jim, how are you, man?
Pretty good. I heard you around 10 o'clock saying that the Democrats would do anything to win an election. I know one thing they won't do. They won't run on policies that actually help the American people. Yeah.
You're right.
It's that.
Lest we overlook that fact.
Yeah, look at that Jeffrey said last year. He's doing the will of the people. 84% of people want voter ID and proof of citizenship. And then all those union people out there, Bresnahan got Kaharchik. He got a lot of union people that he's employing, so they better come out for him.
That's the problem has been, Jim, that people aren't turning out to vote. Even look at Mamdani, who, by the way, the same company's running Paige Cognetti's campaign. Even Mamdani, I'm told he got 7% of the registered voters in New York City, and now he's going to destroy that city as quickly as he can.
You said Pagnotti's headed to Chicago?
Yeah, Cognetti's out there. She's out there. She's already landed.
It ain't actually for, like getting more money for her coffer. Any possibility of a new Democrat becoming a congressman or a senator has got mandatory bootlicking class in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, we've been playing the night Chicago died, which was part of the music history.
If we become a socialist country, it's because of these people don't want to get off their butts and get out there and vote. It drives me crazy because I'm at everybody. A lot of people are angry with me. They say, well, I don't want to hear about politics anymore. I said, well, someday you're going to wish you did.
Sad stuff. Well, Jim, thank you, man.
You have a good day.
Always appreciate it. You have a good one. 11:30, I'm at Ricardo Jewelers Watch. We'll take a break. Hear from our great sponsors. Come back with a Veterans Tribute, the weather, and more on the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute, brought to you this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, loyally, patriotically, dutifully, by our man John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Andrew Mark. We lost him July 22nd at the age of 98. A lifelong educator, coach, mentor, cherished member of the Simpson, Pennsylvania, and Belvedere, New Jersey communities. He was known affectionately to generations as Coach or Uncle Andy. His life was guided by his deep devotion to God and a strong and dedicated practice of his Catholic faith. Born in Simpson, 1928, a proud graduate of Fell Township High School. Andy captained the school's 1946 Pennsylvania State Championship basketball team. Following graduation, he honorably served his country in the United States Army, spending 2 years stationed in Italy, awarded a World War II Victory Medal. He never forgot his roots, deeply proud of his Polish heritage. In photographs he took, he would always say kielbasa instead of cheese. His favorite meal consisted of Petrowski pierogies and Obrisco kielbasi. His family owned and operated Mark's Cafe for generations, 87 years. Committed to education, Andy earned his bachelor's degree from State Teachers College at East Stroudsburg, a master's degree from New York University, and pursued additional graduate studies at Seton Hall. Andy devoted 37 years to the Belvedere School District. Andy and Sarah were married in 1965, the same year he was appointed assistant principal. In 1968, he became principal. 1971, superintendent of schools. Devoted member of the Belvedere Lions Club for over 70 years. Member of the American Legion Post. A faithful parishioner of St. Patrick's Catholic Church. He was an avid hunter. A member of a number of shooting and sporting clubs. Over the years, he lovingly restored and maintained a number of Packards, along with a 1925 Chevrolet that became a familiar sight during Belvedere Victorian days. Andy was preceded in passing by his beloved wife of 48 years, Sarah Andrews Mark, in 2013. Survived by his loving nieces and nephews and other family members. Perhaps Andy's greatest legacy was not found in the many titles he held or awards he received, but in the respect and affection earned from generations of people who knew him simply as coach, uncle, principal, superintendent, neighbor, mentor, or friend. Andrew Mark, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. I'm sorry, Eastern Roofing Systems. Oh, the weather. The weather brought to you by AccuWeather, but sponsored by our great friends at Montage Mountain Resort, the water park in full swing, and they're having a blast up there, I promise you. Today, a shower in the area this morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and humid. It'll be nice enough this afternoon for a water park fun, high 82. Tonight, mainly clear. Fog, cooler, low 57. Tomorrow, patchy fog will reduce visibility in the morning, but otherwise, it'll be sunny to partly cloudy. Nicest day of the week, 87 degrees. On Tuesday, low 61. Wednesday, humid with times of clouds and sun. High 84, low 70. Thursday, times of clouds and sun. Couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Very humid. On Thursday, high 86, low 69. Another great water park day. Friday, times of sun and clouds with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Humid, high 85, low 69. And that's your weather. Brought to you by the great gang up at Montage and their amazing water park. Oh, yeah. That's the cue. That means Tina Morocco in the house. She works at Premier Sotheby's Realty, Naples, Florida. She's your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's Realty in Naples or go direct. Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. That's her website, or Tina Morocco on any social media. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Hey, Bob. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm always better when you're on the air. Always. I mean it. So talk to me. What is on your mind? What will you educate us about today?
Oh, well, today is one of those rare days that I think we are having identical weather to Scranton. We have 84 right now, and it's thunderstorming. So.
Oh. Well, no, we can still go to the water park up here today at Montage because it's clearing out in the afternoon.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, we've been talking about waterfront properties a lot, and it got me to thinking a lot of times the reasons why people buy the waterfront properties is because they love to fish. And so fishing in Southwest Florida is such a huge sport, and it's, really one of the best places to fish in the world, according to a lot of people. And because of that, we have a lot of fish in our restaurants. And I wanted to talk about that because our fish sometimes is seasonal too. So you'll see not only does fishing seasons change, what you can catch, but what you're more likely to catch. And here in the summertime in Southwest Florida, a lot of the fishermen are catching grouper, snapper, and triple tail. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of triple tail. It's kind of an unusual fish.
In fact, I didn't even expect to hear about triple tail today.
And here it is. So triple tail is actually delicious. So if you like grouper, it's even better than grouper, I would say. And it's kind of rare to see it on the menus because you have to catch it with a single hook and line. But it's one of those fish that are, soft, flaky, and sweet. It's often compared to lobster. So if you see it on the menu, grab it because it's really, really good. But the fish itself is so weird. So they catch them near like buoys and crab traps and things like that. And the fish lays on its side and floats on its side and kind of ambushes its prey. But it eats crab and shrimp. So that's why the fish tastes so good. But it's an unusual fish. But you see it a lot in the summertime and
what's it
early
called
fall.
again?
Triple tail.
Triple tail. Wow.
Triple tail. Yeah.
That's a first for me. So, and I like my fish.
Yeah, definitely. So you'll see that on the menu here, probably in the summertime and in the fall. Usually that's when it's most common. But yeah, it's really a great fish, and as our fishermen love to catch it, it's one of those things where it's a prize if you get one. Because they're not easy to catch.
The triple fish and more. I love it. And I will tell you, the seafood and it's always fresh, obviously.
Yeah,
but the seafood down in that area is just off the charts. It really is.
Yeah. When people come to visit us, they say our shrimp. The Gulf shrimp are really something that you don't get anywhere else. I mean, it's just so fresh here, and it just tastes different when it's that fresh. So, yeah.
Love it.
That's your waterfront topics for today.
Nice. Well, follow Tina on Instagram because I always love your stuff. I'm telling you have such great things that you show, and apartments, and then lifestyle things. And follow Tina Morocco, MURACCO, on Instagram, and it'll keep you informed of what's happening. Thank you.
Entertained.
And entertained. That's right. No, save the entertainment for us.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Tina Morocco. We appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
Bob. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's International Realty in Naples or go direct. Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Gerard. And way out in Noumea, New Caledonia, it is 2:45 in the morning. And he's on a bar stool singing to Joe. And, of course, our man Gerard Mayer is right where he needs to be. All right. Let's take this call. We got Ed from Berwick to finish this section. How are you, Ed?
Hey, buongiorno, Roberto.
How are you, man?
I call up to hit you in a sore spot. I'm going to defend Paige Cognetti.
Okay.
It's not her fault she picked the wrong occupation. If she would be whittling at the Pub Charles or in the good old days at the brew house on Cedar Avenue, I would stuff a couple of dollars in our drawers anytime.
Let's not get brutal. You're a bad boy today, Ed.
Bad boy.
All right, man, we gotta go. Bloomberg Money Minute, because I could tell because my Picardo's watch tells me 11:50. One Last Breath from Creed, Murph tells us. It was the number 5 hit this date, 2002. We're going to finish with the Stones, who moved up to number 6 this date, 1968, with their hit, Jumpin' Jack Flash. But now we've got something we need to do. Biden banner disgrace, stolen valor, stolen hometown. He's from Baltimore. You heard him. That was just recently. And by the way, if the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association has noted, he hasn't been back since he concluded his presidency. In fact, he hasn't been back for years. But they put the Joe Biden banner up down at the end of North Washington Avenue, paying tribute to him as a hometown hero, as a veteran. He dodged a draft multiple times. The banner is a disgrace. And now it gets worse. Biden's from Baltimore, not from Scranton. Just ask him. Biden banner disgrace, day 231. Somebody texted him, Bob, how long do you think it'll take before the Green Ridge section puts up a crazy Cognetti banner next to the disgraceful Biden banner? Oh, who knows? Let's prevent all that from happening. Bob Bugzar in here. Bugzar says the money being thrown at Shapiro's state of make-believe and Cognetti's old boy laughable lies and phony baloney magic act is up there with a good summer heat rash. Just saying. Somebody says, Bob, can you talk about the Luzerne County Council and the emails that were discovered? They were about them trying to intimidate and threaten voters who signed the petition. They wanted to dox them. Well, it turns out we're the majority. We're doxing you, council members, and whatever idiots are promoting this blind left-wing lunacy. Crazy stuff. Somebody says, since Comrade Cognetti's paid by the taxpayers of Scranton, is there any way to see if she's using PTO or unpaid time off when she's out campaigning? ALTS back at you. She ain't. She's just doing it. On Shapiro, somebody texts in, he's not even from here. He's from New York. Somebody says, best gas prices around, Shikshini and Berwick, $3.89. Yep. Somebody texts in, troops on the ground, you truly are an idiot, talking to me. Like, really, that is suicide. Do your research already, man. You cannot invade Iran. Oh, you have no clue what our military capabilities are. I'm the idiot. You're ignorant. Sorry. Another William LTS. Bob just heard Green Ridge is planning a hometown hero banner for Cognetti. Could this be true? Well, she risks her life every time she flies out of town. Woo. Bob just saw someone post a video of Cognetti walking the airport, someone texts. He asked her, should she be going to Chicago on the taxpayer's dime? Not a word from her, just kept on walking. People need to know, says Cabinet Guy. Yep. CC equals another. CC equals con Cognetti. Yeah, it's a con job. By the way, and I got to, let's see who sent this to me. I got to find out who sent it. I think it was G Dunk. There's a trans person from San Francisco who left because she didn't feel safe in Trump's America. She got a rude awakening in Holland. They don't want her there. Not because she's trans, but because she's an idiot. Oh, Lord, it will continue. 12 o'clock, I'm at McCardo's watch. That means it's coming up time for the Sue Henry Show. Rob O'Donnell's show after that. But we want to thank Roach Supply for bringing the live stream on YouTube. 75 years in business. The premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. Great stuff. Guys, I want to stay, but I got to go. So I've got to gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, telling you, God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow. Adios.